by being open and being curious and follow sort of a compassionate lead about what people experience at work will allow you to be surprised, to discover things. You're going to end up in really interesting places. Many of the organizations that I work with have something that they call safety conversations. But then as I dig a little bit deeper, what sits underneath that, it's not really a conversation. It's more an interview or an audit in disguise, if you will. It's a lot of predetermined questions, almost like a checklist that they go through. And sometimes they're even associated with certain quotas of numbers to hit every month. You have to have 2 a month or whatever it might be. But I think there's a bigger opportunity sitting here to use conversation to have just that, a conversation of 2 people or more talking together about what matters to them. And that means that we're stepping into that together to set the agenda together about what we need to talk about, to have an honest exploration about what matters to people, what they're experiencing at work, and what can be done about it, looking for ideas and possibilities as well. So that's less checking and more curiosity. So it's less compliance and more connection between people. It actually needs a good relational foundation between people to talk openly and honestly about what they experience, especially when there's sensitive things like adaptations or what we might call workaround. That requires trust for people to start sharing that. So you can't just start a conversation when you tell me about all your workaround. That's not going to happen. The conversation also requires a fair bit of courage on the person who is initiating it, because sometimes it's not easy to hear what people have to say, because you may have been part of creating the conditions or the difficulties that people face. You might have been part of enforcing a standard that's impossible to work with, and people give you feedback. And you have to sort of face up to that in the conversation. But by being open and being curious and follow sort of a compassionate lead about what people experience at work will allow you to be surprised, to discover things, compared to if you have a more comparative approach to the conversation where you're comparing to a standard or a procedure. That gives you some information, but it really limits what you learn through conversation. And by just striking conversation and talking to people about work and seeing where it leads, follow curiosity and care, you're going to end up in really interesting places. You don't even have to start with safety as a topic, just start with work. And here it's going. It's going to lead you to the tensions and the fragilities and the risks that people experience in that. Because if people haven't been set up for success, you are going to eventually have unwanted surprises, and it might be quality or well-being or retention, but it might also be with safety events leading to that. So it's a very powerful approach to capture weak signals or early signals of trouble in your organization.